Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the career multidisciplinary artist known as Lord. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at this rather surreal scene. We're also going to explore what it means to reflect on our past mistakes. Let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, we're caught by this red platform here hosting a singular figure. Your first impression is likely one of, curious awe as we wonder what exactly is happening here. It's rather mystical. And so we see, of course, the placement in space here is quite interesting. We note two contrasting colors of the red and the blue serving as boundaries in space, of course, kind of framing the scene at hand here. We note, various accents within the work at hand, primarily light on dark. Of course, that dark background allows that to pop out to the highest degree possible. And so colors within this work largely consist of red and yellow and blue. There is no doubt about that, especially this red. Of course, red holds an immense sense of vibrance. That sense of visual energy is just second to none, and it catches the eye instantly. And so another thing I noticed within this work is the impact of texture. We see, these rough degrees primarily on our subject's form, but after a short time with this work, you may see that same effect permeating pretty much every form in space here. So this is a very definitive style, and it even gives a kind of slight rough sense, but also a sense of visual energy to the work at hand, alongside the impact of color and light. And the setting of this work is quite interesting to consider. On one hand, we appear to be in space, kind of these light stars in the background, yet on another, we're kind of in a surreal dreamscape. Of course, it is surreal, it is very minimalist, and it's very bare bones as well. It's hard to say exactly what's going on here, but with this in mind, what do y'all see when you view this piece, or where do you think we are? So we see this lone subject sitting on this minimalist prism, if you will, and the subject holds his head up to themselves, kind of in a state of introspection. So with this in mind, there is no doubt our subject is reflecting here. We see this quite clearly, right? The symbols of consciousness, of course, looking at yet another symbol of consciousness that is truly a scene of introspection or reflection. We certainly see that here. The style here is just second to none. Our subject is even made of bare bones and very raw as well. I think that's incredibly important here. So the title of this work, as reflecting on my past mistakes, reveals the true symbolism of the scene at hand. Our subject is clearly reflecting on that, right? We even see this, red glow, almost like a dark nimbus, if you will, radiating from our subject's form. I think that's incredibly important here. And our subject is no doubt isolated, right? There is no one else within the composition. We see those bare bones. We have, a dark aesthetic to the work at hand that I think is incredibly important and relevant to the scene at hand. So I was talking about that radiating glow near our subject's head. I think that is, a moment of enlightenment, right? We see light sourcing from dark, and we even have this, it almost even reminds of a shuriken, but it has that sense of energy, which is kind of galactic, if you will, that is just emerging from the head. So when we reflect on our past mistakes, of course, that gives the opportunity for reflection and revitalization. We can, look at our past mistakes, see what we did wrong, but take that as an incredibly important reference to do much better into the future. So I think that's incredibly relevant to the work at hand here. So we may see a moment of enlightenment for our subject, but of course is caused by reflecting on our past mistakes. So with this in mind, reflect on your past mistakes and then be reborn. This is a very profound piece, there is no doubt about that. It was created in a digital rendering program. That program is going to be Cinema 4D with some additional edits in Adobe Photoshop. Cinema 4D is truly a professional program. I know a lot of pros who use Cinema 4D, so if you want to take your renders to the next level, I would certainly suggest checking it out. And of course, we have those additional edits in Adobe Photoshop, making this a mixed media piece and a very stunning and profound one at that. So we even see this energy radiating off of our subject's head next to the nimbus there, maybe even, shedding our soul, if you will, or shedding the negative parts. It's hard to say exactly what's going on here, but it is profound nonetheless. Really hope y'all enjoyed today. Like I said, this is a profound piece. There is no doubt about that. We talked about everything from the impact of texture, these bare bones here, these contrasting colors, the impact of space, the setting here, and especially the incredibly important title as reflecting on our past mistakes. So I really hope y'all enjoyed today. If y'all enjoyed today's episode, make sure to check out the original artist Lord, doing some amazing stuff in multiple different mediums, but primarily the medium of the digital render. So like I said, really hope y'all enjoyed today. And if y'all did enjoy today's episode, make sure to check out the original artist. My name is Apollo, this was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens.
Polar Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.